Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Sunsetnwaves, coming at you once again on the YT. And I decided to do a video today in regards to hair shedding. I have been researching some information, basic information in regards to hair shedding and why our hair sheds. And what sparked this is I noticed within the month of September and October, I noticed that my hair was shedding, I would say, a little more than usual. So I decided, let me go ahead and do a video on hair shedding. I started saving the hair. So this is pretty much the whole month of October minus this week. So this is about 3 weeks worth of hair shedding. Okay. Yucky, yucky, yucky. Slash breakage. Okay. So let's begin. So the hair follicle. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. The hair follicle. What is the hair follicle made of? It is made of keratin as well as your nails. Okay, so the hair follicles are made of keratin as well as your nails. Now, the hair itself, the hair strand itself is a dead structure. Okay, so that is important to know just so that you understand that all the products that we're obsessing over is going on something dead. Okay, so just understand that, all right? And I think that part of the reason why it's important to understand that is to know that we're trying to maybe moisturize it and keep it moist, okay, so that it can last, so that the hair can last, all right? Because our hair drying creates breakage when you try to manipulate it if it's too dry. And you also want to maybe fill in the gaps within the hair strand, okay? Like if you're experiencing some split ends or whatever, and that's why you would use a protein to kind of fill in those holes, okay? So that's what we're trying to do, maintain the dead hair, okay? So that's pretty much the goal, and we're doing that in order to retain length. Okay, so it's the maintenance that you do that is going to assist in your length retention. Okay, so there is no product out there that I know of that's going to make the dead come back to life and start growing. Okay, it's not going to do that. All right, the products that we're obsessing over on YouTube is to maintain, okay, the hair that has already come out of the scalp. Okay, so that is the goal, to maintain the dead hair. Okay, so this is why you're watching thousands of videos and everything like that, to maintain the dead hair. Okay, to work on your maintenance. So when you see somebody say, oh, if I put this grease on the hair, oh, my hair is growing. No. Okay, no. Now, sometimes certain things can promote a healthy scalp, which can assist in hair growth, okay, like cleansing. You cleanse to remove it so that when the hair can pop out, because you don't want it clogged, okay, and the hair can't pop out the scalp, all right? So that's what you're doing, all right? So I hope that that's clear. So like if you're doing peppermint oil, you're putting that, when that touches your scalp, it's creating a tingling sensation. That tingling sensation is then going to rush the blood, all right, because it's tingling, it's doing something to your scalp, so there's activation as well as scalp massages. The blood then rushes to that section of your body, and then that can help promote it, pushing the hair out. Okay? I hope that makes sense. The hair is a dead structure, okay? So we got that covered. Now, shedding. Hair shedding is hair that has reached the end of its growth cycle and has naturally falled out. So hair shedding is going to happen. This is the inevitable. You're going to experience breakage and you're going to experience hair shedding. Breakage is something you've done. Okay, so maybe you combed it and you snagged and the hair broke mid-shaft. Shedding is something that's going to happen. Okay, so shedding falls out is when hair falls from the scalp with the tiny white base attachment. Okay, so it's going to have, on a shed hair, it's going to have the white base at the tip, at the end of that hair. Okay, so it's going to have a white base at the tip. Now, some say that's the root. They call it the bulb root. But it's the root of the hair. It's the hair strand, but it's not the root in which the hair comes from, because if that was the case, then hair would not reoccur in that section. Okay, and the reason why it's white is not because, I always thought it was white because that's the root coming out and some of your skin probably came out. That's not why the root is white. The root is white, or the base of the hair strand, I prefer the term the base of the hair strand, is white because when your hair is about to fall out of your scalp, the melanin, it stops producing melanin, okay, color. So it turns white in that section. Now, some might say, okay, I don't get that. It turns white just like the leaves turn color before they fall out, okay? So your hair does the same thing. It's going to fall out. It then changes color. Even when hair is experiencing breakage, the strands that experience breakage tend to change color as well, but not as prominent as the hair shedding when the melon stops producing in that section right before it falls out, okay? So the roots of the tree are still there, okay? We're sticking with the tree. The roots of the tree is still there. The tree is still implanted, however, and the branches are still there, but the leaf changed color and it fell out, okay? You got that? Does that make sense? Because it makes sense to me. That's the only way I can explain it. Okay, so that's what the bulb is. Well, studies have shown that hair shedding reaches its peak within the fall season. So I said, yes, fall. This is why this is happening to me. Fall, hair falls out. Okay? Makes perfect sense to me. The leaves are changing. They're falling. Things, nature is changing its colors and doing something new and getting ready for the new. Okay, so why wouldn't my hair do the same thing? Makes sense. Doesn't it make sense? It makes sense. All right, so the fall is usually when people experience a peak of hair shedding. Okay, so now let's talk about hair breakage. Okay, hair breakage does not have the white bulb at the base, okay, of that hair strand that it broke off. And it also tends to be shorter in length because it's breaking in various spots of the hair strand. So hair breakage, this could just break right off. That's hair breakage. Okay, so it's breaking off. It's not going to come from the root of the hair strand. It's going to happen within, various sections. So it'll vary in length. So if you know your hair is about this long, okay, and you're experiencing, and say you comb this section and something comes out this short, then you know that was breakage, right? That's one of the ways that you can say this is probably breakage besides the white base, okay, of the strand. Hope that's clear. The maintenance of the hair determines the breakage. This section right here, this is from what people like to call protective styling. I've noticed that when my hair is in braids or is in wigs, it sheds a hell of a lot more than when it's, or I don't want to say sheds, breaks off, than when I do my wash and goes and just regular styling. And I attribute that to my hair being dry under the wigs. Okay, I tend to not wear a cap when I wear my wigs. I don't know, the cap, it just to me feels funny on my head, so I tend not to wear that. So probably the brushing of my hair back and forth maybe. Although I do moisturize it when I do it, I just feel that might be why, because it's like brushing up, it's kind of in a dry state, it's used to getting moisture like every other day, because when I do wash and goes, I'm putting water on it every other day. Our hair likes moisture, so it's more at a vulnerable state, even though it's in cornrows. Also the combs, I don't put the comb attachments in. However, some of the back pieces of my nape definitely do touch the backs of those combs, even though they're not secured within my hair. So I find that this, occurs more when I do wigs and stuff. These little ones, like this is from Wash and Go. So look at that, Wash and Go, and because I boiled them up depending on what they were. So this is Wash and Go / detangling, and this is from a wig, okay? And this, again, this is from a wig, and this is from a detangling session after I put some conditioner and just had to detangle my hair. I think I put some twist in it. I think that was the twist that did these. Yeah, so this is some of the shedding that occurred. This is from the wig that I had on previously that was on my Instagram. And the reason why it's broken up like this is because it tended to shed more in different sections when I did this wig. Okay? So that's been explained. So hair shedding might be occur due to hormonal changes and hormonal imbalances such as pregnancy, postpartum, after you give birth. Now me, I experienced shedding the majority of my pregnancy. So during pregnancy, my hair stayed in the shedding phase. Okay, and hair goes through growth cycles. So I'll also explain that. So hormones also have to do with a big part of shedding, as well as the growth cycle that's bound to happen regardless of your hormones. Period can change your hair shedding. Medication, because that has an effect on your hormones, that can change your hair shedding. What else can do hair shedding? Hair shedding. Birth control, that can have an effect on your hair shedding. Nutrition, that has an effect on your hormones. That can have an effect as well on your hair shedding. Now, breakage, heat, okay, that would have an effect on hair breakage. Combs, that would have an effect on hair breakage. Chemicals, that would have an effect on hair breakage. Coloring, that would have an effect on hair breakage. So what you do to your hair on the outside once it's come out of the scalp, that's your fault. What happens with the shedding on the inside, depending on what you're eating and stuff, that might be your fault too, but it's going to happen regardless. Okay? So that breaks down the difference between the hair shedding and breakage. Okay? The lifespan of the hair is usually about 4 to 6 years. Okay? And then the final act of shedding can occur. Okay? Which cannot be prevented. Okay? It's going to happen anyway. A healthy head can shed a maximum of 50 to 100 hairs per day. Okay, so that would be considered healthy. Anything more than that is not healthy. Okay, however, 50 to 100 is the maximum. Like, it doesn't have to shed 50 to 100 strands a day. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. You can't fix the hair shedding with protein or moisturizer. That's for breakage. Okay, so whatever you're doing, remember the hair shedding is happening just because. Okay, so just because you're pregnant, it's going to happen, or just because you're going through postpartum, it's going to happen. Just if you have a sickness, that's a hormonal imbalance, it's going to happen just because you're sick. You understand? The breakage is happening because of the lack of maintenance, okay? Or maybe something was done incorrectly. Maybe you're using too much heat. So you can say, okay, I'm not going to use heat. I'm going to now, because I notice I'm having a lot of splitting in my hair shafts, I'm going to trim my hair now so that I have an even cut and the splitting doesn't go up the hair shaft, and I'm going to maintain. Or you're going to say, I'm going to see how I can focus on more moisturizer. Maybe my hair is so dry and that's why it's breaking mid-strand. Or maybe I'm putting too much protein and that's why it's breaking mid-strand. Or maybe I need to put protein in and do a protein treatment to fill in the holes and the gaps in my hair strand. Okay, so the breakage you can try to work with. The shedding is really the inevitable. Okay, this is the research that I've conducted. Okay, now, like I said, the strand is 4 to 6 years, or 2 to 6 years, depending on which website you went to. So some people, they might only experience, you ever see somebody and they're like, wow, my growth is stunting, like my hair only grows to this length. They might be somebody who they experience the hair shedding phase immediately after they've reached 2 years worth of length, and they, depending on their age, may play a part, or just their genetics, they might not grow six. They might not be able to maintain the lifespan of their hair up to 6 years. Does that make sense? So like you can, so for those who like to follow people who have this long hair, that person might be able to maintain up to 6+ years of hair strands before that hair strand phase out to the clubbed hair, which I'll get into, to fall out. and your hair may just stop here. Your hair may stay at this length. Some people can maintain 6 years of hair growth before the shedding occurs, okay? So you got to be happy with your hair in the now, because you just don't know. Of course, your hair is growing, your hair is healthy, but it might shed quicker than others. It might reach the point of shedding faster than another individual, okay? Now, when I talk about the hair phasing, this is what I'm talking about. So you have the antigen phase, okay? So this is the active growth phase of hair, which can be 2 to 4 years, okay? Some say 2 to 6, some say 4 to 6, depending on the website that you go to, okay? So this is the hair strand, all right? So it's growing. It's actively growing, okay? So it keeps pushing out the scalp, all right? It keeps pushing out the scalp. Then after that, you have the catagen phase, all right? So this is a transitioning phase within, this can happen 1 to 2 weeks after the 4 years, or the 2 to 4 years, okay? So then all of a sudden your hair is at a place where it's the club is forming, okay? So there's a club hair that forms to put the hair back in that spot where that hair is pushing it, the club hair, the new hair strand, up into the spot of where the old hair strand is growing out of. Okay, so the growth process has stopped, and now the club hair, the follicle has began for that. Okay, so the roots are staying there, and that new hair is going to grow and push up. Okay, I know this is complicated. I hope y'all are following this. So then after that, all right, you have the telogen phase. Okay, this is the phase that no one likes. All right, so this is the resting phase, okay? So the club hair has formed, all right? The new pupils there, and it's forming, and now this hair is resting until it's ready to just, the melon is going to change, and that hair strand is going to fall out. Kumbaya. And that could happen within 5 to 6 weeks after the transitioning phase, all right, which is 1 to 2 weeks, okay? And then you're back. The bulb has formed. This strand has popped out. All right. And that can happen within 5 to 4 weeks. Okay. So it's resting. And then within 5 to 4 weeks, it pops out. And then you're back at this stage, the growing stage. So they're not all, your hair doesn't know the date. So it's not going to be like, okay, it's this year. Like how we do our nappy-versary videos and say, all right, time to fall out, 4 to 6 years. It doesn't work like that. So each strand is going to have its own timing. But this is just roughly a synopsis of how it happens. Okay. So stress, okay, can on the telogen phase to happen in 70% of the people prematurely, okay, in different studies. So stress does have an effect on how quickly your hair is shedding, all right? So because the hormone imbalance, chemical balance, okay? Even if you're somebody who follows people with mental health issues, you'll know that a lot of mental health issues have to do with a chemical imbalance, okay? So stress, right? And then the shedding happens and says, poop, we gotta go. This air says, I'm getting off this head. This person is bugging out, all right? So if you're stressed, you need to kumbaya. And so, I've just been moving. I've been going through a lot. So that can also be reason why I'm experiencing all of this. Maybe I'm not kumbayaing enough. But also the fall, okay, can be a result of why you're experiencing a lot of shedding. And the breakage, like I said, the wigs, the braids, that may not be right for everybody. That might not be protective for everybody. I know that even like my mother has a Senegalese twist. Every time I do stuff like box braids or twists like that, my hair breaks off and sheds like crazy when I take those out. So that might not be for everybody. Let's not get caught up in the lingo that everybody's using, like protective style, and I say it, but I know that I'm saying it, and I don't say it like, yes, I know my hair is protected. I just say it because at the end of the day, you watch so much damn YouTube videos, you start talking like that. You know, there was a time when it was just like, no, I'm getting extensions in my hair because I want braids. No, I'm getting a wig because I want to wear a wig. But I'm so used to everybody saying protective styling, that I tend to say, but that shit does not protect my hair. My hair suffers when I do that. I notice that wash and goes and even twist outs, I have to put a lot of product and keep maintaining that daily or every other day. My hair likes moisture and it likes to be free. That I do know. So this winter season, because of course I'm not going to be doing wash and goes like crazy because it's cold outside. This winter season and fall season is very hard on my hair. And I think that that's maybe you wear a lot of hats, and they said most people experience the most shedding at this time. And you know, even breakage, you're wearing wool hats, you're scarfing it up. If you have long hair, the scarf is brushing it back, the sweater is brushing in the back. So, you know, it's hard. I think that this season is a hard time for naturals. And I just saw it fitting to give my information that I've looked up. I will definitely put the links to the websites that I got this information from in the description bar, and you guys can check them out for yourself. I hope that I explained it good. I tried to explain to the best of my ability. And it's your girl, Sunset and Waves. Peace out.